We're just so thrilled that John could be here this evening. When we were trying to coordinate schedules for the evening and talking to John's scheduler, so we said we had everything lined up for April 11th, including the embassy, and the scheduler said, well, he's flying back into the country on the 10th and he's got to fly out again on the 12th. I said, great. So we're really glad that he could be here this evening. And I want you to know that we decided on this many months ago before he was all over the news. And, you know, being in the gym the last month, you know, every time I was on the treadmill and turned on the TV, there he and Clooney were talking about the important work that they're doing in South Sudan. And in all seriousness, I mean, it just, first of all, made me so proud. It made me feel smart that we were honoring him, but really just proud to be producing graduates who are doing such incredibly important work. You know, we think about what this award signifies to give to an alumnus or alumna of the year, and it is important that the recipient be a person who exemplifies what it means to be a graduate of SIS. This isn't an award for just any school. This is an award for an alumnus or alumna of the year from SIS. And so the person needs to be somebody who lives out the philosophy of service that SIS seeks to instill in all of us in the SIS community, students, faculty, and staff. And John Prendergast's accomplishments really transcend the aspirations that we have for our students. His work as a human rights activist has been nothing short of remarkable. As I'm sure you all know, he's co-founder of the Enough Project, which is an initiative to end genocide and crimes against humanity. He's worked for the Clinton White House, the State Department, 2 members of Congress, the National Intelligence Council, UNICEF, Human Rights Watch, the International Crisis Group, and the U.S. Institute of Peace. He's volunteered as a big brother for over 25 years, as well as a youth counselor and basketball coach. With George Clooney, he helped launch the Satellite Sentinel Project, which aims to prevent conflict and human rights abuses through satellite imagery, use of satellite imagery. John co-founded the Darfur Dream Team Sister Schools program to fund schools in Darfurian refugee camps and create partnerships with schools in the United States. He helped launch the Raise Hope for Congo campaign, highlighting the issue of conflict minerals that fuel the war there, and Sudan Now, which is focused on bringing peace to that embattled country, and now 2 countries. He's been awarded 6 honorary doctorates, and is the author or co-author of 10 books. Very humbling for someone who's the author or co-author of only 4. We're incredibly honored to count him among our alumni, and just as we did with the award for the Ike Award, I want to show the larger thing first. You gotta wait 1 second. So what we've done, we have a number of folks who are on here who are in the room. We've created the School of International Service Alumni of the Year Award, recognizes outstanding alumni who exemplify a commitment to service. And there are several of the folks who are on here. There may be more. I've seen Joan Plaisted tonight and Clyde Taylor, who's the most recent recipient. And if I haven't yet seen anybody else who's on here, but we're really excited to be able to have a big thing that we can hang in the school so that everybody knows who all of our awardees are. So we're very excited to have that. And this is for John Prendergast, SIS MA 1990, 2012 School of International Service Alumnus of the Year, presented by me, in recognition of your inspiring dedication to the betterment of our world.
I would have expected maybe another 30 seconds or so of applause after the ovation David got, but all right, seconds down here. I want to first thank the ambassador, who, as we know, has departed, but hopefully his staff will tell him that George sends his regrets and he'll be glad to have lunch with his wife anytime he will want. And thanks to you, Jim, very much. It turns out you're still the dumb new guy, but it's okay. It's kind of good. It gives you a free pass for lots of stuff, including picking somebody like me to be the guy that wins this award. Before I do begin, though, I do want to say that I'm a little disturbed that David got $2,500 and I didn't. I promised that I would at least give some of it back, to you, part of your little fundraiser there. But I think, Jim, you and I are really so fortunate to be here today, given the people that have come before us who have taught so ably and nobly at American University's School of International Service. Gunter, as David described, an absolute icon. Steve Arnold, Fantu Sheru, for many of you who remember good old Fantu. Couldn't leave Lou out of the list, Lou Goodman. And of course, the incomparable, humble, very handsome, gracious, inspiration for so much of what I've done in my career, David Hirschman. Thanks again for all you've done. Well, given all that, Dean, Jim, you and I literally are standing on the shoulders of academic giants. When I first heard about this award, my first thought was the old Groucho Marx line, I don't want to belong to any club that accepts people like me as a member. But then I looked at some of the folks that the previous awardees, that have won this thing and their distinguished backgrounds. And I was like, okay, sneak me in if you want. I'm very excited to be part of this. The masters that I received, the education that I received at American University at School of International Service really laid the groundwork for a most amazing set of life experiences. I feel a little bit like Forrest Gump, just stumbling into all these things, these momentous occasions in global history, dizzying highs and crushing lows that they are. I was able to witness, the end of the apartheid regime, which David had taught so much to me about the structures and systems of, the same year as I witnessed the end of the Rwandan genocide. I later worked with President Mandela on the Burundi peace process and learned directly from the master of negotiation. I traveled with President Clinton on Air Force One to Africa on literally the longest trip of his presidency, where we made all kinds of progress and promises about building a more enduring partnership between Africa and the United States, but then followed a month later by the breaking out of interstate wars between Ethiopia and Eritrea and in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I was part of efforts to bring an end to those wars in Sudan and Congo and in Ethiopia and Eritrea. And of course, we succeeded in Ethiopia and Eritrea and saw the extraordinary role that the United States can play when we don't have an interest in something and we just are trying to make a difference in a place far, far away. And I was also part of the failure in diplomatic efforts. Despite many deals that we've struck in Congo, the violence continues to this day. I had the opportunity to be part of the Blood Diamonds movement that helped contribute to bringing an end to wars in West Africa. And I was part also of the Darfur movement that was unable to help support the bringing of a peace agreement to Darfur, though that same movement pivoted and worked on preventing a war between the north and south of Sudan in the context of the referendum that took place in January 2011 and resulted in the creation of the newest state in the world, South Sudan. I also got to travel to Africa with my favorite actress, Angelina Jolie, my favorite basketball players, Luol Deng and Tracy McGrady, and my favorite atheist, Christopher Hitchens, may he rest in peace. But my AU-inspired future, as they asked me to say a few words about, will ensure, I think, against a lack of boredom as well. I'll remain committed, I can assure you of that, to helping to build a constituency of people here in the United States and around the world who are dedicated to peace and human rights in Africa. The Enough Project, which I founded in just a few years ago with my dear friend Gail Smith, will be the foundation of the work that I continue, but we'll build these initiatives that Jim mentioned, the Satellite Sentinel Project, trying to prevent human rights crimes before they occur, trying to deter them. The Darfur Dream Team, linking up students in America with students in refugee camps in Africa so they get a more direct and first-hand experience of people's lives, and not just some concept spinning in a book about refugees or about war and peace. And the Raise Hope for Congo campaign, where we're really trying to connect people here in the U.S. to the suffering and our standard of living, here in the U.S. that is directly linked to the suffering of people, the ongoing suffering of people in the Congo. And we'll work closely with all of the groups that have been working so hard to try to bring an end to the Lord's Resistance Army in the context of this 2012 campaign and trying to bring an end to that. And I'll keep writing books. Sorry about that, Jim. I'll let you catch up. But Ryan Gosling is my next co-author. We're going to do this, we're going to do this crazy book. It's not really a book. I don't know what you can call it. I think that the closest thing is sort of the future of, for some books, this kind of app that is a book, but it also has video and games and ways for young people particularly to learn about things the way they want to learn about them, so that it's not just a linear thing where you turn the page and you take what's given to you, but you can actually explore. And we're going to do that all about the conflict minerals issue and the Congo and its history and its people. And I'll keep trying to find ways to reach people where they are, and we just struck a deal with Funny or Dive, that website, is a way to reach some people. Some people will respond that way. We've also talked about from the very new to the old and stodgy. We also have an ongoing relationship with 60 Minutes to keep doing quality programming about Africa. And documentaries, documentaries is a way, short and long form documentaries. And in my spare time, I'll hang out with the wonderful lady that I married about 9 months ago, who is getting a little bit fed up with all this globetrotting. So I want to thank you, Dean Jim, and thank you for the inspiration that you gave me to follow my dreams, David, and thank you, most of all, to the American University family that's in this room today. I appreciate everything that you've given me.